Hello, chaps. It's been a while. Matt back. I've got a brand new series on the channel, and this is the one that's going to see out Football Manager 2021. I'm planning on playing this all the way through until FM22, and it's a save that I don't normally take on. I don't know how most people feel, but I'm one of those. I don't like controlling your own team on FM. I feel like because you get a bit bogged down by what's happening in real life when you try and replicate it as best as you can, or you have an idea of what you think's best. But I had a little conversation last night with FM Prospect. He's a really sound lad. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow his blog. He's a blue. He's an Australian blue, of course. The Tim Cahill link is there. And we had the little discussion. He was sort of in the similar mould. He doesn't really know what to do next. And the idea was, let's do an Everton series. I always sit there and moan and criticise, and as all fans do, they think they can do better than the current manager. Not that I'm better than Carlo Ancelotti, never will be. But obviously we all have our own ideas of how things should happen. And I thought, you know what, I don't think Everton are ever truly represented in FM. Think about your own saves. I guarantee Carlo Ancelotti got sacked at some point. Richarlison probably went off to Chelsea, as he does on most saves. And we sort of just stagnated. So my idea is to return Everton from being, there or thereabouts, sort of teetering around Europe, to being back to the elite, and to continue on the building blocks that Carlo Ancelotti put into place. As you can see, I've literally just loaded the save up. The club vision and expectations are actually quite sort of what you'd expect them to be. Play possession football, sign players under the age of 22 for the future, develop players using the club's youth system, play attacking football. I found this year that cautious is probably the most underrated. I did mention it in a previous video. If you do like a data analyst of a certain team and you do Manchester City, you'll actually see that they play with a cautious mentality. And that's purely because they like keeping the ball. They don't want to lose the ball. And when they do lose the ball, they don't want to be caught out with numbers forward. So, I may stick to that. Play entertaining football. Don't sign players over the age of 30, which, again, that's something I've always done. And the 5-year plan is to build a new stadium, which is happening in real life, and to work within the wage budget. Finance-wise, I feel like on the latest update, they've maybe done us a bit more justice than they normally do. We're normally like stupid millions of pounds in debt, and there's like minus 79 million in the coffers. But I feel like on the latest update, they've actually sorted that out a little bit. When it decides to show through for us, 46 million in the bank, but we've only got 2.5 million pounds in the transfer budget. I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. The idea when we brought Marcel Brands into the club was that Marcel gets an overview of basically the academy upwards, and I feel as though he's not quite had that yet at Everton. So what we're actually going to get him to do, if you have a little look at the staff, our head of youth development is not great. David Unsworth, he in real life was like the academy head now of the academy, and also the under-23s manager. But again, he's not great, not the best. Route 1, 4-3-3, 2 DMs. It's not really what we want, although he does get the club and he gets like the ethos of it. Yeah, whereas if you got Marcel Brands, Marcel here is fairly determined personality. He he's got a good overview of Holland and England. He's very level-headed. He, in real life, actually brought Memphis Depay through the PSV academy from a youngster. He's got good working with youngsters. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Marcel bringing the youth players through. We're also going to have Marcel signing players for the under-18s, and I'll show you why now. Youth development information, for those who don't know, if you don't want your head of youth development doing it and you've got like a really good under-18s manager, for some reason technical director's on there, I don't know why. But yeah, Marcel Brands, so he will now bring the youth candidates through. So if I was to save that now and then click on Development Centre, it will show you that Marcel Brands is providing the youth development information. So yeah, youth candidates, it'll pop up with Marcel's lovely head of hair. So yeah, that's the way we're going to do it. And the reason we're doing that is because that's how Everton want to operate in real life, but unfortunately we've not quite got there. So he's going to bring through the youngsters from like the under 15s onwards, and he's going to bring the players into the club. Transfer wise, also, he is going to sign the players for the under 18s, not the under 23s. I feel like the under 23s, if you tell them to sign players for the under 23s, he'll just sign basically a load of nonsense. Like he'll just bring in like free agent 21-year-olds who played for Crawley. I don't know if people play with directors of football on this. I tend to. I do like it. He's going to initiate them. He's going to negotiate them, and he's also going to finalise them. I'm going to give him full control over that. In the same regard, as much as it pains me to do it, I'm going to let him sell them as well, and I'm also going to let him control the loans for the under 18s if it will let me. Yes, there you go, Marcel Brands. In terms of initiating for the first team, what I'm going to do, we're going to use basically a little bit of everything we've learned through the other series. We're going to use a bit of data analysis. We're going to use a bit of the Monchi method, where you get a mass sort of scouting pool, and then you send, one or two scouts to look at this guy, and then the director of football gets the final say. And that's how we're going to do it. We're going to have the scouting pool looking at certain players, and then Marcel is going to get the final say on the transfer fee, on the contract, and yeah, he's going to have full view of that. But what I'm going to have to do then is change it to negotiating to Marcel Brands and finalising to Marcel Brands. Again, it's sort of similar to the way that Foxy did his director's debacle way back when. I think it was FM17 or 18 he did that. The only difference being is that I get the say on who we're going to sign, and then he just negotiates it for me. So he could hit a stalemate. He might not negotiate with people. He might not be able to bring people in. But that is the whole point of a director of football. Player sales wise, I'm going to let Marcel negotiate it. Reason being, he's actually a very good negotiator on the game. 14, sort of our average. But it's above the average line. I'd say about 13 is probably average for staff. 14s, 15s onwards is just like very, very good. So he is also going to negotiate the sales, but we will finalise it, because if he's not got a very good deal, we'll step in. And again, initiating the player sales, I will also do that. So that leaves us in a stead then of how's the squad looking, how are we going to play, what are we going to do. Team report wise, I think everyone kind of knows roughly how Everton play. It's either a 4-3-3 or it is a 4-2-3-1. Personally, I prefer the 4-3-3 on this, but if you look at all positions, we've not got an awful lot of options out wide. James, as he did at the start of the season, tends to play sort of like a wide right and drifts in. I don't think he's got the physical attributes to match that on Football Manager, so we're going to play him in the hole. We're going to play him as a number 10. We're going to play Dom up front and Richie out wide, and then we're more than likely going to play sort of like a wing-back system with a defender behind him. So it's going to be asymmetric. It's going to be very, it's going to be very bizarre to say the least. So let's have a little look. This is how I'm hoping on setting it up. We're going to develop the tactic over time, but formation-wise, it's probably going to be a bit of a mess going forward. In goal, it has to be Jordan Pickford. Although Robin Olsen's a very capable goalkeeper on this game, I think Pickford just sort of edges it slightly. He's going to be a sweeper keeper on defend, not on support, because he's just a bit all over the place when he wants to be. This is going to be Luca Dean, of course. The idea is going to be Dean gets forward, which means Richie's going to have to play inverted, and Richarlison will go there. Richarlison, here we go. Right back is going to be... I'm torn between Seamus Coleman and Mason Holgate. I personally think Holgate would be better as like a deep lying playmaker rather than a centre back. I just feel like he does have stats for a centre back, but he's not quite tall enough. He's not quite strong enough. He's not quite quick enough. Whereas you've got someone like Ben Godfrey, who is a physical monster. He's very, very fast. He's very aggressive. I feel like Ben should be the best centre back, and then Seamus is Seamus, veteran of the club, still actually very good on Football Manager. So I think Seamus probably gets the nod. And then centre back number one, it has to be Ben Godfrey, purely for the pace and the acceleration and the aggression he can get back. Tries to play out of trouble, likes to switch the ball to the wide areas, and he brings the ball out of the defence. So he's going to be a ball playing defender. We'll keep it on the defence duty for now. We may even switch up to the cover, just to drop him behind, just in case his defence partner messes up a little bit. And I believe on the game, Michael Keane's actually better than Yerry Mina. Yeah, just from the... Let's have a look. Yeah, I think Keane edges it. Anticipation and positioning, Mina is not great, whereas anticipation and positioning, Keane is very, very good. So I think Keane gets the nod there. And then maybe we drop Godfrey to a cover, so he just stays that little bit deeper just in case Keane doesn't get there and he can cover the pace-wise for Coleman then. In terms of how we're set up the strikers, I'm going to go something a little bit different. So Dom's going to go there. This is going to be James Rodriguez as an attacking advanced playmaker. Bear with me for this one. Here he is, James. It says for the attack duty, he'll look to run at the defensive line from deepest positions, aiming to craft out crossing or through ball opportunities as he moves in the final third. Whereas the support duty, he will literally just sit in the hole and spray the passes through. What we want to do, let me just pop Dom in there. We want it to be quite fluid. So if we play it as a 4-2-3-1, this can either be Gylfi Sigurdsson as an attacking midfielder or a shadow striker. So if we were to set this to shadow striker and put Gylfi in there, Gylfi Sigurdsson, here we go. So Gylfi goes in there, which means Dom essentially will, patrol sort of around these areas. Gylfi will get into around these areas, and Richarlison and James will sort of sit in deep like this, meaning Luka Dean will end up around, sort of roughly around here as like a winger, and Seamus Coleman will sort of sit as like a bit of a wing back. So you can see it kind of goes to like a 3-5-2-2 or 3-4-2-2. This is going to be Alan. He will more than likely drop deeper here because we're going to have him. I'm thinking a deep lying playmaker on defend, but to just change his role a little bit so he's more like a ball winning deep lying playmaker. If we look at Alan here and then we look at his role preferences, they've actually gotten really good for a deep line playmaker, a box to box, or a ball winner. If we keep him on this, so dribble less, shoot less often, hold position, and then we just change it ever so slightly to more urgent, mark tighter, and tackle harder, I feel as though then Alan will literally he'll hit people, he'll harry them, he'll run around, but he's also got the technical ability to play a little bit, and that's what we want. I need to change this back now. So it's a bit, it's a bit of a mess visually, but there's methods to this. Run directly with the option shooting. I don't know whether to have Richie as like an inside forward, because then Richie will sort of run into the gap that Sigurdsson leaves. But Coleman's going to go back there. Luka Dean's going to go there on a wing back. Yeah. I feel like wing back attack. So he gets himself to the byline, and then Seamus can be a wing back on support, meaning he can get down on that line there. And then next to Alan, we've got Ducore, we've got Tom Davies, Fabian Delph, who we're going to look to offload very, very soon, and also Andre Gomez. Deep line playmakers link with each other on this game. I don't know if anybody has actually noticed that. Because Allen and James are playing so close to each other, they will sort of just link. They will link play up between them, and then everyone else will move around them, which I think leads credence to the fact that Abdoulaye Doucouré is going to come in and be the player next to Allen as a box to box. So he will cover a lot of ground essentially. So he's going to be box to box. We're going to also tell James to roam from his position and to move into the channels. So James is basically just operating wherever he wants. Gylfi Sigurdsson, dribble more, take more risks, get further forward, move into the channels. Can we tell him to shoot more often? We can, because of Gylfi's long shots and he's actually got decent finishing. We want Gylfi sort of just to smash it as much as he can. So he's got to take more risks. So if Dom does make that movement, he can pop that ball off to Dom. And with Dom, I don't know whether to keep him as an advanced forward or a complete forward. I think with a complete forward, they utilise their strength more. They hold the ball up a little bit more. I don't really want him to be a deep lying. Get further forward, run for some channels. The only... Oh, has he got individual traits now? He's got knocks the ball past the opponent. So he is a bit of a target man, but, whether he is a target man, I don't know. Pressing forward on attack is the only other one. Get further forward, move into channels, close down more, tackle harder. We can tell him to hold the ball up, which he does in real life. And we want him to press more. And I feel like I can tell a few people are going to be like, what are you doing? But I feel as though it will work. We've got plenty of attacking options, sort of like a quartet going forward. We've got support options in and around, and then we've got at least got enough. Alan will sort of drop like this, meaning Godfrey and Keane will split wide, and sort of I might even say when we've got the ball, stay a little bit wider. So Alan can, drop into this and sort of like patrol in between them. And then Doucouré is just going to be up and down, really dynamic. But I'm going to leave that episode there. I'm going to do some of the off-camera stuff. I'm going to sort some transfers out. I'm going to sort out the staff and whatnot. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. It's going to be a long slog. It's going to be a long old haul of a series, but I'm really looking forward to getting involved with Everton and seeing what we can do with them. But for now, lads, I am Matt. This is the new Football Manager series that we're going to see out the game with. And thank you very much for watching. And as always, take care.